Aerocool AirHawk Duo ARGB opinion. The Aerocool AirHawk Duo ARGB goes for $85 excl. Taxes. Plus 2 cool 200mm fans in the front of the chassis. RGB fan in the back to complement the looks. Built-in RGB toggle button. RGB PCB may be expanded with universal lighting elements and connected to a motherboard of your choice. Cool metal mesh design for the front. Dust filter on all intake areas, including a magnetic one in the front. Plenty of room for your modern components. Solid frame construction. Clear glass side panel, great for looking at all your parts. Good cable management possibilities. Minus. Glass side panel mechanism to hold it in place looks cheap. Front plastic material unnecessarily soft. Fans connected via 5-pin header make for limited choice when expanding the setup. Underside dust filter in form of a basic metal mesh. Plastic 3.5 inches HDD trays have a very different design which makes for hard removal. No grommets on the openings for cable routing. Reset button is used for LED toggle functionality. The Aerocool AirHawk Duo ARGB is a solid mainstream chassis considering the price. At $85, it offers 3 functional RGB fans with an embedded controller, which in turn allows for additional universal lighting elements to be connected while giving the user the choice to control the lighting via the chassis reset button or the motherboard header. In that sense, the AirHawk Duo ARGB delivers the kind of setup we have seen from many other enclosures out there in the price range. Looking at the chassis itself, while quite solid and with a functional feature set, you won't find any special tooling or engineering. The biggest issue is the lack of material, plastic, in the front, which makes it quite thin-walled and soft, and the approach to bypass using screws through the glass panel is somewhat crude. However, none of these should be deal breakers for customers just looking for big, cool, RGB lit fans out of the box. We noted in a past Aerocool review that the choice of frame was not adequate for the type of chassis they were marketing, and I am happy to say that the AirHawk Duo ARGB is a step in the right direction in regards to that choice. The interior of the case may lack grommets and the refinements we have seen in other cases in this price range, but comes with a good set of routing holes and plenty of hooks to attach zip ties to, and you should not have to worry if your mainstream hardware will fit. There are also 2 magnetic dust filters, one in the front and one in the top, which ensure the grime will be less likely to make it inside, and thanks to the removable HDD cage, you should be able to go as far as installing a thick 360mm radiator in the front, while the top should be able to fit up to a 280mm radiator of the thin variety. With the 4 HDD cages, the chassis comes in right at the average we have seen with enclosures of this type and price range, but for some reason, the plastic 3.5 inches HDD cages are the odd design element out. They look like they came straight from the 90s, and pulling them out is not as easy as with any of the other cages we have seen in the recent past, including those from other Aerocool enclosures. Overall, the Aerocool AirHawk Duo ARGB looks good for the most part, and the 2 200mm ARGB fans are certainly the unique selling point. So if you like what you see, you won't regret buying the chassis at all, and it can certainly be recommended.